Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody. Frank and Dan here. We just wanted to say thanks for watching. Please feel free to hit that subscribe button and share things with people if you like what you see.
And leave comments.
Yeah. We're doing the pointy at all the things.
That's what you do on YouTube.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the show.
Everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from gorgeous Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
The podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up today, it's not the first time we've ever talked about conspiracy theories, but we've got a little bit of a different take.
But it's the first time we've talked about them as full-fledged believers in them. You and I have now decided to believe in all of the conspiracy theories, including all of the religions. We are now full-on believers.
We've joined Baha'i.
That's right. We behave. We should. No, what we're going to be talking about is how to talk to them folk.
Yeah.
Them folk what believe crazy whatever.
Yeah. So there's that.
So
okay.
And then a bunch of you are going to be mad at us and say that we're full of shit. So that'll be fun. We'll all enjoy that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dan.
Yeah.
I want to start off with a story.
Well, I think that's traditional.
About a couple in Iran.
Okay.
Who has gotten themselves into some hot water.
Doesn't seem like that's that hard to do in Iran.
No.
Seems like that's a pretty easy thing to do.
This proves how easy it is.
Okay.
So a man decided that it was time to propose to his girlfriend.
Okay.
And so he sets up one of those sort of very public sort of proposals.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
He decides to do it in a popular shopping mall.
Okay. Yeah. Great.
He sets out flower petals in like shape of a heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And he's standing in the heart. He pulls out the ring. Right. Proposes to his girlfriend, and she says yes, and the crowd applauds, and the whole thing's caught on camera because of course this is what you do. You have to make sure somebody's filming the damn thing.
Yeah.
Right. And it's all romantic and fun and a little hokey.
Yeah, on the cheesy side. Good. It's good to know that American style cheese is not lost in other parts of the world.
Yeah. Well, apparently though, this was this act contradicted the country's Islamic doctrines.
What?
How? How would it? How could it, Dan?
I thought they've Is it because they've asked
been arrested
instead of just commended?
They've been arrested, Dan.
Oh, good Lord.
And they were arrested by police for breaking the country's laws on public decency.
Oh.
They've been released on bail. But let's break this down, Dan.
Yeah, what? You're gonna have to tell me what is indecent.
Here's the deputy police chief.
Did some of her hair show?
Nourouzi. This is what he said to a local newspaper. He says that the offense is very clear, and there is no need for explanation.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Good.
You better start explaining, sir. He said that it was unacceptable for the couple to do whatever is common in other places in the world and disregard mores, culture, and religion.
They did the American thing.
They did the American thing.
Don't do the American thing.
Apparently, Islamic law forbids men and women from exhibiting public displays of affection. And it is seen as an influence of corrupt Western ideals. The law also prohibits kissing. and they
Did they kiss?
There was a little peck.
Oh,
apparently.
those bastards!
It was shameful.
Yeah,
it was obscene.
Yeah, gross.
Obscene, Dan.
I mean, I kind of agree that it's a little obscene.
Look at this. There's balloons, Dan.
Ew.
Balloons are not obscene. Balloons are never obscene.
Balloons are gross.
And look at her. She looks so happy.
Well, that's the problem.
Right?
Her hair is showing. She's smiling. I don't think she's allowed to do that.
No, come on. Come on, Dan. It's kind of crazy how easy it is.
Well, here's the thing.
I just sit there and I'm like, what would it be like to be in one of those countries and to look out at the world and just look at the horror of the West. Yeah. The absolute abject horror that is Western culture, where we do such things as like, kissing our partner in public, or holding hands, or showing displays of affection. I'm not talking about like PDA here, folks.
Right.
I'm talking about some pretty simple stuff.
Yeah.
Minor stuff. And that's just absolutely horrifying to these people.
It's a slippery slope, Frank.
To what?
Well, next thing you know, they're going to be, showing their shoulders, or I don't know, flash mobs. Who knows what's next?
An Iranian flash mob.
When if they allow this kind of shit, you never know what's going to be next.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God. I have to say I share their horror at a proposal in a mall. I think that's cheesy and awful. And if you did it, dear listener, I don't forgive you.
You were quite the curmudgeon.
I'm grumpy.
Oh no, Dan.
I'm a grump. No, of course.
Where are proposals acceptable, Dan?
Temple Square, Mormon Temple Square. It's the most romantic place you can propose.
I bet. Do you just go to watch the proposals? Is that why you're secretly there all the time, Dan?
I love it. I love it.
I know you claim that it's just all about people watching.
Yeah.
I know you, Dan.
I love it. Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to take us to the Great White North, up in Canada.
What?
Where there have been stern warnings.
Oh boy.
They're losing their churches.
Oh? Good for them.
Yeah. Apparently,
sounds like a good thing to lose.
Apparently, within the next decade, they could lose a third of their churches.
Oh my.
This is due to congregations not being able to keep up the money that's required to keep a church going.
Because the congregation is shrunk?
Is dwindling, yeah. Oh, wow. So, everyone from Catholics to Episcopalians to whatever, the church attendance is low. For instance, the Catholic Church is saying that they're basically a huge proportion of their own churches currently they're not supporting themselves.
Oh wow. And
so they may shutter them, they may demolish them, they'll just sell them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean I get that, like, a lot of these buildings are kind of are historical monuments, mm-hmm. and people are sad to see a lot of them go. And I would be sad to see, really beautiful cathedrals going, but that's not what that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, and if it is worthwhile, like if it's got some decent architecture, you find a new use for it,
right? Yeah.
You make it a library, like that one in the Netherlands or whatever.
Right,
it's so fucking
or a sex dungeon.
Beautiful.
It's fine.
It's
you figure something out.
Lot of old churches have been turned into bars and whatnot. Apparently,
yes.
Like in the UK, didn't we read a story about that a couple years back?
Sure, yeah, that's great.
I think that this is an opportunity for us to preserve these old buildings that might have some cultural significance, but to repurpose them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Or they can be performance spaces.
Ooh, yeah,
that's always the thing. There's actually a church downtown in the avenues here in Salt Lake that has been used as office space for the last long while. And is now up for sale. If anybody out there wants to help me buy it and turn it into a meeting center for secular people, feel free to offer your
now that's interesting
financial services there.
Oh wow!
I would love that. I would actually love that, to house secular things, to house services like Oasis or Sunday Assembly meetings, as well as a whole bunch of other give Utah atheists a place to meet, and give Secular Coalition of Utah a place to meet.
Is that the one on E Street? Yeah. Okay. Huh.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
It's a cute church.
Yeah. So if you're wealthy and you're listening,
and you've always wanted to own a church,
reach out. Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah. All right.
But I think that would be great. But how amazing is it that Canada's congregations are dying? They're withering on the vine. What's going on up there, Canada? And how do we get some of that down here? Is the answer, is what I want to say.
Yeah, well, I do not know, Dan. I do have a story, though, that I'd like to follow that up with.
Yeah.
Dan.
Okay.
Because China is facing a problem of too much Christianity.
That is a problem.
It's just, oh my God.
Something tells me I'm not going to like China's solution to that, though.
Well, China actually has a solution that they've been working on for a while.
Yeah.
And this is their effort to sort of take the foreign out of foreign religions.
Okay.
Right? And that's what they're working on right now, because they see the West's promotion of Christianity, let's say, in China as an effort to subvert the communist state.
Right.
And
can't have that.
Cannot have that. And so what they're doing is they're trying to basically isolate these Christian groups and basically make them conform, make the Christianity that they're practicing conform to socialist values,
right,
and communist values, and they are also trying to get them more rooted into basic Chinese culture, and this is an interesting line: become a religion recognized by the Chinese themselves, so that the Chinese see Chinese-y things in Christianity, in their version of Christianity. Right?
I'm pretty sure Chinese-y is an okay thing to say.
Foreign.
Yeah.
What's wrong with Chinese-y? How else do you express that sentiment?
Right. No, I'm not. It just sounds funny.
They see this as a need to de-radicalize. Right.
Sure.
And they actually have this office. They have a whole department. It's called the United Front Work Department, which is in charge of co-opting non-communists, ethnic minorities, and religious groups and making them Chinese. Right?
Oh, okay. I'll be interested to see what that ends up looking like.
Isn't that fascinating, though?
Yeah.
So they here's a few things.
Sweet and sour Eucharist. Is that what we're talking about?
I suppose.
I mean,
Kung Pao host.
That's right.
All right.
Some Savior lo mein is delicious. Ooh. Everybody loves it.
Oh my God! No kidding. Yeah. So. It's really kind of interesting. Of course, the West is losing its fucking mind, or at least Western Christians are.
Oh, yeah. How dare they?
Because, I mean, honestly, if you take the West out of Christianity, what's left?
Just Jesus.
And
they hate that.
Why? Yeah. Yeah. Why would you?
There's no reason why you can't. I mean, if you're just changing sort of the accoutrement surrounding it, I mean, you'd think that the Christians would hail this as great.
Right.
Because at least they're not jailing them.
Right.
All they're saying is, like, let's make it look like us.
Right. And let's just focus on maybe, Jesus's core message.
Yeah,
because that seems to
isn't the message
just
what's
fine
important?
with socialism and,
Right.
or I guess I should say communist socialism.
Right.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
love one another, take care of each other,
Yeah.
That's what, I'm not sure that's what
And obey the state.
Chinese communism
At
is all
all
about.
costs.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And
give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. I bet they love that
Yeah,
line,
exactly.
Yeah. But the rest of it, the Pope, I bet they don't like the Pope at all.
No.
Foreign power
No.
in their nation. No way.
Not acceptable.
No way. Very Italian thing.
Yeah.
Who wants
Totally
Italian things?
Totally white looking guy.
Italian culture has created nothing good ever.
They should bond over their mutual love of pasta. I don't see what the problem is.
Noodles will bring us all together.
Yeah, exactly.
If there was one food that could bring about world peace, it would be pasta.
Possibly. I mean, because after you've eaten it, everybody just has to lie around for a while. Nobody can fight. After you've eaten a whole big bowl of pasta, everybody's just like, ugh. Okay.
Silly.
I'm going to take us to France, in Lyon, where a French Cardinal, Philippe Barbarin, has been convicted.
Oh no!
Of not reporting a priest under his I don't know, what do you call it, in the hierarchy below him or whatever, one of his priests.
Yeah.
He was told by multiple victims that at least one of his priests had been molesting kids, and he did not report this to the authorities.
Why?
And he's been convicted of it. That's the glorious thing.
Excellent.
But after falling fast on the heels of George Pell's glorious convictions.
Right.
This has happened. This is a lot of these incidents are past the point of the statute of limitations, unfortunately. But we're talking about and this isn't about the priest himself who did the predation.
Okay.
But apparently that priest, Father Prenat, I believe, is I don't know how to pronounce
beautiful.
It. Thank you.
French is a beautiful language.
Oui.
And you do it justice.
Yeah.
Prenat.
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 I think it's Prenat.
Oh, yeah.
But
beautiful.
Yes, Bernard Prenat apparently
good,
he molested had quite a few victims. The cardinal was made aware of this and did nothing.
Why?
Because
how have they not learned this lesson? This is such a simple lesson.
Oh God, it seems easy, but when you're in a fraternal organization, you protect your brothers, I guess, or something.
I don't know.
Hopefully, it's getting harder. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully this becomes something that puts the fear of God into these fucking priests. I don't know what else will. Jail. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But yes, apparently, I mean, he's actually probably not going to serve any jail time. He got a 6-month suspended prison sentence.
Jesus Christ.
But, anything that puts a little bit of a chill down the spines of cardinals around the world is a good thing.
Yeah.
So.
But, I mean, they must not pay attention to these things, right? Because, I mean, like, this is not the first... This is not the first news story.
No.
About this kind of thing.
Well,
how do they not have this? How is there not a brief from the Vatican that says this is what you do?
I mean, they are working on that now.
But it's like
it never happens
in the making.
Well, and they keep having these.
They
keep having these meetings of the bishops, and they gather them all together, and they say we need to seriously talk about this. And then at the end of it,
they all go, do we?
Yeah, well, what happens is that by the end, there's no concrete steps that have been proposed to be taken, and there's a paper. They just release a paper that says, we think this is probably bad. Yes, we agree with that thing, and we will continue to look at actions that we can take to prevent it. And they don't actually, there's no policy put into place.
All of them have dirty hands. That's why.
Of course they do.
They all would be implicated in something similar.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's no other explanation.
No.
Right? As to like why they cannot get good on this issue.
Oh my God.
Right?
I went into...
Because what percentage of them are predators, and what percentage of them have protected a predator?
Yeah.
It's so fucking high.
Yeah.
That they're all uncomfortable with the topic.
You line a bunch of priests up and you say, look to your left, look to your right. You know that they're looking at a predator or someone who's helped a predator.
Or they themselves are.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's Lord. It was fun. Did you see on Saturday Night Live? Pete, what's his name, got into trouble by comparing people who defend the Catholic Church with people who defend R. Kelly.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "How dare you?"
Yeah,
and then all of us were like, "Have you been paying attention? Because that is true.
Yes,
he's correct.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yes.
So down in Texas,
down in the west central town of El Paso,
a judge by the name of Jack Robinson has got himself in a little bit of hot water.
Oh no!
He was presiding over a trial of a woman who was accused of sex trafficking. Gloria Romero Perez was her name.
Okay.
So after the jury had moved on and were deliberating, he entered into the jury room, walked in, and said that he'd been praying about the case.
Oh, good. By the way, nothing can warm your heart and make you feel great like hearing a judge who's supposed to uphold secular law walk in with that statement.
Walks in, tells the jurors that God told him the defendant was innocent.
Jesus Christ. That's exciting.
Sex trafficking.
He told this to a jury?
A jury.
Oh my God.
Walks in. I've been praying about this.
Oh my God.
God's told me she's innocent. That's how it all went down, right?
Before they had rendered a verdict?
Before they'd rendered a verdict.
Jesus Christ.
The jury found her guilty.
Okay, good. Good. But a judge trying to exert influence over the outcome of a trial on a jury is that okay. Foreign listeners, we're not okay with that in this country.
No functional judicial system is.
No. I'm just trying to make it clear. That's not like normal.
Oh, right. That's not how our system
That's not how we do.
Right. And so anyway, it's been declared a mistrial.
Yeah, I guess.
You think? And apparently, so the Texas Judicial Commission is issuing a public warning to Judge Robinson.
Good. A warning.
Yeah, right. This is not the first time this man has gotten himself into a little bit of trouble with the Judicial Commission. He received a public reprimand for improperly jailing a man who had approached him in a restroom in 2009. And he later called him a fool after a ruling in his granddaughter's custody case. So it's like this grandfather approached him
and said, "Hey,"
and said something to the judge, and he throws him in jail, and it's like, "You're a fool."
Throws him in jail.
Yeah. And so he received a reprimand on that. For whatever reason, the Judicial Commission has refused to do anything like, censure him or to punish him in any sort of way. Because there are other things that they could do, even short of like removing him from the bench,
right?
That would be definitely much more severe than just, hey, we warn you,
right?
Don't do this again, mister.
You are on thin ice, young man. If you do this 7 more times, we're going to take some actual action.
Right. Well, Robison is claiming that he's been under extreme stress due to ongoing medical treatment and the recent death of a close friend. His doctors actually say that his actions were driven by delirium.
Oh.
They're calling it a temporary episodic medical condition.
Oh.
But they argued that his fitness for duty has not been impaired because it's not an ongoing issue. He seems to be fine now. He's a good guy. People really like him down at the club.
He's hearing voices, goddammit. He's talking about his imaginary friends to the jury.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Man. I mean, clearly there was, I do like that his prayer that was answered and God told him to do something, that his defense is that he was momentarily insane.
Right.
That is actually a wonderful admission.
Yeah.
That no, I wasn't actually talking to God. I was insane.
Right. Yeah. That's a
good takeaway here.
That is a good takeaway. I also am very impressed with a Texas jury because we know Texas and they love the Lord.
They love the Lord, but they love to convict.
Well, that's true.
They probably love convicting people more than they respect Jesus.
They must have really been stewing over that one. Well, Jesus done told the judge. But then again, she's also got that Mexican name, so I want to convict her.
Shit.
My racism is bumping up against my faith here.
Flip a coin. Guilty.
At some point, someone in the jury box is like, does anybody care about the facts of the case at all? Nah. It's just Mexican lady versus Jesus. I'm not sure.
Honestly, though, judge leaves the juror room at that point.
Yeah.
There must have been some
to be a fly
serious
on that
conversation
wall.
At that point.
Yeah.
Of like, what in the hell just happened?
Right.
This woman's clearly guilty.
Right.
Right.
You guys all see what I saw, right? Because she's guilty, and he's telling us what now?
Yeah, they stood up to him. I think it's great.
I think that's great. That's very impressive. Good job, Texas.
Sadly, mistrial.
Yeah. But hopefully, I mean, if the prosecution's case can surmount a judge's prophecy once, hopefully it can do it again.
Yeah, indeed.
I'm going to take us finally to Scotland, where back in 2005, they made it legal to have a humanist wedding.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Nice.
That's one of the kinds of weddings that they allow. Because I think before then, it was just churchy weddings. Or you could just do a churchy wedding, or you could just do like the civil wedding. Like civil union sort of thing, a civil wedding. But now that humanist weddings have been around for over a decade.
Yeah. Nice.
They've taken a look at some stats.
Okay.
We got some facts and figures coming in.
Okay.
And they're looking pretty interesting. What they looked at is the rate of divorce 5 years after the fact.
Oh, interesting.
Among all of the different, if you have a Catholic wedding, if you have a Church of Scotland wedding.
Right.
If you have a humanist wedding.
Okay.
Now, the humanist weddings, surprisingly, have galloped apace and surmounted by a long shot weddings like Roman Catholic weddings, Church of Scotland weddings. There's a lot more of them. A lot more humanist
Total
weddings.
conducted.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which you would think would bring them sort of more in line. These are not outliers is what I'm trying to get at.
Right.
They are. This is sort of a very common thing. Humanist weddings are 3 times less likely to result in quick divorce than Roman Catholic weddings.
Shut up.
More than 2 times less likely to divorce than Church of Scotland weddings.
No way.
And almost 4 times less likely to divorce than civil marriages.
Fascinating.
I think that's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
It's pretty interesting. There's obviously no study as to why that is the case.
Well, now they need to.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing now somebody's going to be doing it.
Raw numbers right now.
But yeah, I mean, right now it looks like the rate of divorce in humanist weddings is 1.7 for every 1,000 weddings.
Wow.
Whereas Church of Scotland divorce rate 5.8 per 1,000.
Well, I mean, it's not that hard to figure out if you don't feel like you have to get married.
Well, it does seem like the social pressures are entirely different.
Exactly.
On a secular couple versus a religious couple.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it does seem to point out that
there's a lot less making an honest woman out of her.
Right.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
And a lot less, well, you two have been dating for a long time now. Don't you think it's about time?
Right.
You make it right with the Lord?
Yeah.
And there's certainly no, well, I can't sleep with her until I marry her.
Exactly.
That doesn't even exist.
Right.
So hopefully...
So it's not horny kids.
Right. It's not making a dumb choice that's not well thought out.
Right. No,
there's a lot of factors to this.
Right.
But
But it sort of undermines religious folks' ideas about themselves.
Yeah. And some people have...
They're wonderful, the sanctity of marriage.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you guys really know how to make a marriage sanctified.
Right.
With your much higher divorce rate.
Like only people entering into marriage who know each other and love each other and who have spent time honestly thinking about it,
who understand, who more thoroughly understand the commitment that they're making.
Yeah. And who've probably already taken a lot of steps toward, merging their lives. Right. They've taken those steps. They've tried it out.
They've lived together and
it works.
And
let's make this.
And when it doesn't work, they don't even try the marriage. They just they break it off before the marriage.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. It's good.
So there you go. A lot of people, this BBC article that I was looking at has some people saying, it might be because of other factors. Humanists might tend to be more affluent or might be more educated or whatever, which may be the case. But the fact that there's so many more of them says to me, you know what? No, you're getting a wide swath of humanity here.
Yeah.
And you're still seeing a better outcome.
Right.
So good for us. We win.
Yeah.
You guys lose and we win. Well, if you want to point out ways that you win and we lose, you can write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIA and click on the like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Yes?
Rick Wiles.
Ooh, whiling away his time.
It's been a while since we've played Rick Wiles.
That guy. Oh, my God. He's a nightmare.
Kooky, religious, conspiracy nut job. Rick Wiles.
Yes.
He's going on. You're going to hear him use the word chipped a couple times. evangelical paranoia.
Yeah.
That in the last days, people are going to have like some sort of
the mark of the beast.
They're going to have the mark of the beast, right?
And they've theorized as to what that is.
Right. And they've landed on, you know, the little tag your puppy dog gets,
little microchip.
Well, they're thinking some sort of RFID type thing,
right,
for like payments or something like that. That people are going to just start getting put in their hand.
An injectable thing,
right?
Even though like the mark of the beast in Revelation is actually like, it's very clearly talked about as being on the forehead and whatever.
Sure.
But
maybe they'll put the chip on the forehead.
Yeah, well, I'll have a little raised bump, a little grain of rice bump on our foreheads, and then we all have to like bonk our heads against the payment thing.
Yeah. Will you please bonk?
Yes,
thank you.
Bonk here.
All right. Well, this is that's just an explanation of that part of this whole thing. This is just a wild rant by him, and so let's listen.
Oh my God! Buckle up, kids.
For the first time, Doc, I think it's possible. I really think it's possible. I'm going to see it in my lifetime.
After this past week?
After this week, I now think it's realistic that I can be alive and see Christ return. Before, just don't know. You don't know. But now, this thing's moving so fast that I'm now thinking it's very possible that I'm going to be alive to see it. But I do know this. I have 2 children. And I have grandchildren. And I've got to do everything I can to make sure they are ready.
Amen.
Oh God, my soul grieves for the children, the little children who are 1 year old right now, 2, 3, 4, and they're growing up in this godless world. And they're going to be indoctrinated to believe that they should be chipped. You're going to have to take a stand for Jesus Christ, and it's going to cost you your life. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not lying to you. And I'm trying to get myself spiritually and psychologically strengthened for that day.
Right.
It's not, look, I can handle, I'm you know, at my age, I've lived most of my life, okay? If I get executed 10, 15 years from now, okay, most of my life's gone. But what about my grandchild? Am I going to stand there and watch them execute my grandchildren? And you didn't prepare your grandchildren? Are you going to accept, are you telling me you're going to end your time on this earth and stand before God someday knowing that you didn't prepare your grandchildren to resist the Antichrist and you watched them get chipped? You're going to promise your grandchildren they're going to be raptured, and the rapture is a lie? What are you going to do when your grandchildren are chipped? What are you going to do when your son and daughter are microchipped? What are you going to do when your pastor is microchipped?
Wow. Oh my God. Wow. That's some intense feeling you got there, Rick.
Well, he thinks he's about to see Jesus.
He thinks he's about, yeah.
Jesus is
in his lifetime.
And he's an old man.
Yeah. He's not that old.
He's pushing 70-ish, don't you think?
I don't know. Nothing feels old anymore.
He's got old face. He's got like geriatric face.
Yeah, anyway. This guy... It's terrifying. I find this genuinely terrifying.
Do you know what I find terrifying about it? The admonishing grandparents to make sure their grandchildren are ready.
Right.
Because let me tell you, there's a lot of grandparents out there whose children, their own children, aren't that churchy.
Right.
And they've got kids that they're not raising in the church. Maybe these are just, you're just sort of run-of-the-mill nuns. They just are unaffiliated,
right,
have no real opinion on the whole thing. But grandma and grandpa are going to start working on those kids.
Yeah.
And the parents are going to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Because of fucktard here.
Yeah.
Who
it's not acceptable.
Yeah.
And he's just scaring the bejesus out of people.
Yeah. Needlessly.
About these chips that aren't going to happen.
They're not even it's not real.
That's not going to happen.
It's your phone, people. It's not going to be a chip in your...
Yeah, the phone is the mark of the beast. It's already happened. You already have one in your pocket, Rick Wiles. Oh, my God. It's so stupid.
It's so dumb.
It's also, like, I think the chronology is wrong. Like, I think the rapture happens and then the mark of the beast thing happens.
I have no fucking...
What am I talking about?
Who cares?
There is no biblical rapture.
Right.
They made that up much later. That was like 100 years ago they made that up, and now it's taken root.
And just this whole thing about standing there watching people being executed and whatnot.
Executed? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Are you talking about getting chipped, or are you talking about executions? Because those seem like pretty different things.
Not in his mind. It's just as bad.
I want to go chip him.
First you get chipped, then you get killed.
I want to go, like, what does he think happens if you're forcibly chipped? Are you
You
done?
have to defend yourself with your life.
Does the beast then own you? Do you have to kill yourself?
If you're chipped?
Yeah, if I just hold him down and chip him?
It's chip or death. That's your choice.
Cake or death?
Cake or death. Chip or death. Chip and dip or death.
Yeah.
No.
What a terrifying world to live in. Like, that man's world.
Oh, yeah.
The world that he paints, the picture that he paints for all of these people. I mean,
yeah.
I get it that, like, they're the special ones. They're the ones.
It feels great on one level.
It's supposed to be terrifying for us, not for them.
Right.
But then they've got to, like, worry about, because they're all sinners. They're all going to fuck up. And then what if they fuck up and then don't repent before, like, what if God turns on his holy vacuum before they've managed to get a repentance in?
See, that's the magical thing that this kind of thinking does, right? They are both special and terrified by their specialness.
Right. They're both saved and in peril at exactly the same time.
And it has them so distracted from the world that they live in.
Oh, and
right?
Yeah, and so addled that they just keep throwing money at these people, hoping that they'll be okay.
Keep speaking truth, Rick.
It's just so scary and true. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the people that have written into us now.
Oh, thank you, Dan.
Jacob wrote into us, said, I don't know if he's referring to, if you'll recall, you and I concluded, me more reluctantly than you, that we grew up in a cult.
Yeah.
That the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, it's not okay, and it is, though huge, and boring, still a cult. So Jacob, who clearly also grew up in the same cult, says, I don't know if this happens in other wards. A ward is a
Mormon congregation.
Mormon congregation, a single congregation. But in reference to the church threatening you if you leave, multiple teachers in my young men's class would mention that when non-members die, they get another chance at joining the church in the spirit world. But if you were a member and you left the church, you'd be eternally damned to outer darkness for betraying God and choosing to ignore the truth that you learned in the church.
Yeah, that's so fucked up. They do say that. It's actually against their own doctrine.
Yeah, that's not really how outer darkness works,
right.
if you dig into it. But it's a forgivable misunderstanding, actually.
Yeah.
Because outer darkness theoretically is for people who have known for sure the certainty of the Lord,
right,
and then denied him.
Right. But Mormons like to say, I know
the church is true. That's true.
I know that. So it's hard to sort of parse out.
It's understandable
for the average Mormon.
Yeah.
I remember feeling that way. I remember feeling like I was just damned and doomed and for all eternity.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then once if you actually read about the degrees of glory,
yes,
you really don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
Just don't ever meet Jesus. And then you have nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Because once you meet Jesus, oh God.
Yeah.
What if you deny him after you see him?
Once you shake his hand, look him in the eyeballs.
Right.
If you deny him then, after he's, done some card tricks for you or whatever to prove his divinity, then you're in trouble.
Right.
Oh, man. What a mind fuck it is. Yeah. And yes, that's very culty.
Right.
That is extremely culty.
Yeah.
What Jacob got. Philida wrote into us, "Hi, Frank and Dan. I've been enjoying your show for 4 years. It definitely has become part of my Sunday morning entertainment ritual while I fix breakfast." Sounds nice.
Yeah.
Nice little podcasty breakfast.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that?
Right.
When you mentioned the song Onward Christian Soldiers, I had to remember that was the song that set me on the road and led me to knowing that Christianity is BS. My first group Christianity experience was an Easter assembly when I was in first grade. I don't know where Philida grew up, but apparently you can have Easter assemblies in their schools. We heard all about the Jesus' love, kindness, and peace, and how he had died for our sins. Then we were told to march back to our classes singing Onward Christian Soldiers.
Oh, yeah.
Since I'm one of the lucky ones who was never indoctrinated, I didn't know the words. So I actually listened and processed the words. Oops. It scared the shit out of me and sure didn't agree with all the love, kindness, and peace we had just heard. Yeah.
That's cool.
You're a soldier. Don't you know? It is interesting the conflicting messages that you get in church about how it's all about love and it's all about kindness to others and it's all about accepting everybody, no matter if they're a sex worker or a leper or whatever. You accept and love them all, but not you. Not that guy because he's gay, and not her because she wears slutty clothes, and not any of these people.
Right.
But love everybody.
But love all.
Jesus, I hate the sin and not the sinner, except I definitely kind of hate the sinner. Because they're sinning.
Have you ever met a sinner? Oh, I hate sinners.
Oh my God. Some of them
They're the worst.
Are awful.
Just the worst.
And we're all sinners, but mostly those ones.
No, it's a different kind of sin. I'm not that kind of sinner.
I'm not the bad kind of sinner. I'm
like your run of the mill.
I'm a good church going sinner. Totally different thing.
Totally different. Well, Dan.
Yeah.
I got some people to thank.
Oh, good.
These you may or may not be aware of this, Dan, but we're running a campaign on Patreon.
Oh, I've heard of Patreon. Say, have you guys heard of Patreon? It's a place where you can go and show your love and support for this podcast that we put out on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
With actual work put into it.
Yeah, and have for years.
Yeah.
You can go to our website, thankgodimatheist.com, click on the support tab, and go follow it on to Patreon if you want to be a part of that. There's also a PayPal option if that works out better for you.
Indeed.
But we do have a new venerable listener, Dan, this week.
How we venerate them.
Her name is Melissa.
Oh.
So thank you, Melissa.
God bless you.
We also have a tie for first place for
Lord
our top
and Saviors.
donor, right?
Yeah.
And because there are so many, we've dubbed it the Pantheon.
Yes.
The Pantheon of our Lords and Saviors.
Yes.
We have Jash, Scott, Melissa, Dee, Hannah, Liz, and Judy. So thank you for your support.
Yes.
And thank you to all of our patrons who have stuck with us. And
our new,
new and old.
Your ongoing support is how we make this thing go.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you stop supporting us, we'll die. We will die.
It is possible. Yeah. Anyway, so thank you so much, and we sure do appreciate it.
Bless you all.
Dan.
Yes, sir.
Conspiracy theories.
There's many of them.
They're out there.
There's many of them, yes.
Some are simple little theories. Some involve lizard people.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Some have there are theories about 9/11.
Theories about non-heliocentrism.
Yes.
Theories about
there's the flat earthers,
shapes of various bodies of stuff in space, including our own home here on Earth.
Yeah.
And conspiracy theories about rabbis being the actual son of God, sort of thing, and
wow. Yeah.
maybe even visiting the Americas.
Oh.
All those,
Oh, that theory.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
I think I find religion to be a lot like conspiracy theory. At very least, when I talk to a religious person, it feels a lot like, especially if we're talking about my non-religion versus their religion.
Right.
What I have noticed, and I've gotten into arguments with other atheists about this, what I've noticed is that just like conspiracy theories, the root of their belief is centered not in their brains, but in their emotions.
Okay, sure.
So, like, to me, when I talk to one of these people, it is not about giving them the facts. Giving them the facts almost never changes their mind. If you talk to a flat earther,
so they have different facts.
They have
in their head.
They have different facts, and they have answers for all of the facts.
Right.
Or if they don't have answers, they are very willing to discount what you say because you're threatening something. You're assaulting something that is that they have a deep and sort of identity level attachment to.
Right.
This is who I am. It's not just what I think or what I believe. It's also who I am.
Right.
And when you attack who a person is,
right,
even if what you're attacking is very clearly disprovable.
Right.
Like, we can demonstrate quite easily the shape of the earth.
Absolutely.
And the backbending and the twists and contortions that go into flattening this earth are very easy to talk around. But you're not going to convince anybody who believes in flat earth by telling them the facts.
I haven't watched that documentary that's out about the flat earthers. I've been meaning to.
Right.
But I was talking to somebody who has who did watch it.
This is the level of our discourse.
Yeah.
We've talked to people who have talked to people.
No. But some of the things that come up in it is that they're going through all these different experiments. They're pointing lasers. They're doing this. They're They're doing kind of a lot of the classical, experiments about the shape of the earth that the ancient Greeks were doing. Right. And they're getting sort of the wrong results for it to be flat. And so then they're having to try to explain it all away. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Time and time again, the results of their experimentation are showing that it's round.
Right.
And then they're like, well, there must just be some aberration in the atmosphere that's contorting this laser. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
No.
This experiment works under very specific atmospheric and conditions. It doesn't work every time.
Unfortunately, it's hard to replicate.
So, but it did work that one time, and therefore, look, here's the thing. It can be so frustrating to be in the presence of someone who believes something that, in your mind, is clearly outrageous.
Yeah, I know. I know a couple people who they've got some crazy ones.
Even if it's political stuff, like the political landscape of these United States, and seemingly, the more I read, around the world right now, it is polarized, and it is trapped in identity.
Right.
It is, you're not. It's not. I subscribe to liberal. I subscribe to conservative ideologies and thoughts. It is. I am a conservative. I am a liberal. And when we're in that space, people talk right past each other. They talk at each other. They talk through each other.
Yeah.
And nobody hears anything. Nobody. So what do we do?
Well, I would like to. I was reading an article that lists a few different sort of commonalities between people who do believe in conspiracy theories, and none of these are, well, let me just go through the list. Right?
Okay.
A desire to feel special.
Yes.
A lot of those who want to stand out from the crowd, aka those with narcissistic tendencies, can adopt extreme beliefs in order to do so. That's what this says.
Well, and I think, I do want all of our listeners, as you're reading these, to sort of ask themselves, yes, this applies to a lot of the conspiracy theorists, but also, does it apply to religious folk? Because I think you'll find a lot of parallels here.
Let's see. Feelings of powerlessness. An explanation for events beyond a person's control, no matter how ludicrous those explanations sound to others, can still be psychologically preferable to being the victim of blind chance or happenstance.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, nobody in religion is in religion because they're afraid of the void.
Right.
Sure.
Right. And then a need for certainty.
Yep.
Seeking explanations for events is a natural human desire.
Yep.
And we don't just ask questions. We also quickly find answers to those questions, not necessarily the true answers, but rather answers that comfort us or that fit into our worldview. And then there's also being less educated. That's if you don't have a firm foundation to stand on, you might be susceptible to outlandish claims about the universe that we live in.
What's interesting about that one is that those people who are not educated will claim, oh, well, I just wasn't indoctrinated into the thinking that you were indoctrinated into.
Right, I know.
But really what that's actually about is just that it is through education systems that we learn how to think critically.
Exactly.
And so they apply critical thought badly.
Exactly.
Rather than applying it in a way that would lead them to better conclusions.
Exactly. And learning about trustworthy sources.
Yeah, absolutely. All of that stuff is sort of what's encapsulated in the concept of education.
Exactly.
So I was reading an article, and it talks about sort of the way to get to the heart of the matter, the way to actually maybe take some inches toward actual communion with another person in a way that can actually move the needle a little bit.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of experience with doing this the wrong way. The first several years that I was with my wife, the way that I communicated with her father was wrong. I was wrong, and it just created tension, and it created bad feelings. Because I would challenge him, and I would debate him, and all of these things, and it was a disaster. It made me feel temporarily superior, and it made me feel sort of like I was fighting the good fight. It was a good fighty feeling. It did not create any good feelings between us, and it certainly didn't change his opinion about anything.
Right.
I did not even as I walked away declaring myself the winner of these debates.
Right.
I sure as fuck didn't change his mind at all. So this article by a guy that I've been following for a bit, Gleb, I don't know how to say his name, Kaspersky.
Beautiful. That's
thank you.
Beautiful pronunciation.
He has some really good ideas. Starting with forget facts and logic. You're going to get nowhere if that's where you're starting from. You got to let go of those for a while, because what you've got to get to, because the second you trot out facts and logic, they're on the defensive position.
Right.
You're creating an antagonism between you and the other person that's going to make them dig in their heels. So what you need to do, and you know, they're going to start employing confirmation bias. They're going to, everything that, you know, how often do we see it where a conspiracy theorist or a religious person or whatever, the counter argument becomes the proof. Even if the counter argument is true, that only further proves their point. They have ways of bending and twisting so that only proves their point. You're going to backfire. So what he proposes is that basically it's not that their emotional connection to these thoughts are the problem. It's just that that's where you need to talk to them. So you need to show what he calls emotional leadership by employing empathy. Really, like the greatest emotional tool that you can employ is empathy.
Okay.
Find ways that you can find commonality, that you can you have to establish trust.
Right.
So you have to show them places where you agree with them. You have to show them places, you know, and find ways where you can hold on to yourself emotionally, so that they know that they're not going to get into a fight here.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? This isn't about a fight. This is about finding common ground. This is about support. You are going to receive support from me. Right now. This isn't about necessarily supporting the position, but it's about supporting the person.
Right.
Because a lot of these conspiracy theories or even religious opinions come out of a place of feeling, as you said, unsafe or insecure or whatever, and that's why they're holding on to these beliefs. So you build the trust, which is absolutely crucial. Demonstrate places. You find ways that you can mirror them, so that you can rephrase their positions in your own words and show them where you are on the same page. You know what I mean? You're not on the same page of believing that the earth is flat, but there are ways that you are on the same page emotionally with them. We all need to feel like we understand what's going on around us. We all need to feel like we understand the world, and we all have felt betrayed by learning facts in school or in church or whatever that we then realized weren't true. You know what I mean? Like, these are places where we have commonality or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that's when you can start unclogging emotional blocks.
Interesting.
Where you can start don't go anywhere near the facts yet. You're not even close to that.
Right.
But start finding out the reason. Start gently delving into the reasons why they need to believe these things.
Right.
Because there's a need to believe these things. Don't get to the facts. Don't disprove them. Get them on a journey of asking themselves questions about their need to believe.
Right.
Or why, or you know what I mean? Like, and you know, learn some stuff about yourself in the process. Because it should be a two-way journey. It should be a two-way street.
Right.
Be open to understanding something new about you and and why you believe what you believe.
Right.
Make it a two-way journey, and you may not ever change their mind completely.
Right.
But you'll build a trust. You'll build a bond, and that's what's more important anyway. And then when you have that in place, you might actually be able to move the needle a little bit.
That's interesting. The main article that I was looking at was talking about some researchers who were really focused on the idea that people feel people who are susceptible to conspiracy theories and to even just that kind of thinking about the world and even their very current situations where they're maybe in the workplace and they see the behind the scenes machinations of management and like they're up to no good and what are they really up to? They say it's this, but I really think it's this, and they stir up discontent amongst the ranks, right? And so they were really looking at this idea of people feeling powerless in the workplace. and they worked on this idea of if basically substituting in the power of goal setting, right?
Okay.
So you get people working on their lives, and in the workplace, it's working on the work that they do.
Sure.
And setting goals for their performance or just things that they want to achieve, or whatever. But as people start to feel more accomplishment,
right,
and that they have maybe a little bit more control over their situation because they're being recognized for their good work and the things that they're doing, that this conspiratorial thinking diminishes. What management's doing in the back room goes away, right?
Right.
And so the thought was that this can also be more broadly applied, essentially.
Sure.
And that if people in general feel like they have just even small control over little things, they're less likely to be susceptible to conspiracy type theories.
Interesting.
Which is really interesting, right? Like,
well, and maybe that translates also to the whole, if what's holding someone in a religion is this sense of like, it gives me a feeling of control over my life, over the thought of death, over all this stuff. Maybe one of the things that we can do to make non-belief a safer landing, a safer place to be, is to just speak to our own sense of like, oh no, I actually, I'm glad that you have feelings of security in your religion. What's interesting is when I left my religion, I was worried that I wouldn't have that anymore.
Exactly.
But I actually do. And here are the reasons why I feel safe and comfortable, even though I don't have, the safety net that I felt before.
Sure.
Don't make it about convincing anybody. Believe me, you guys, if this is all a ploy to try and convince somebody of your position, they'll smell it on you. So you got to give up on it. You got to give up on trying to bring people to your position and delve much more into a place of just wanting to have a good, productive, and happy relationship with these people. And that may be enough to bring them to you. But if that's the goal, they're going to know, and they're going to dig in their heels. I think.
I don't know. I think it's possible. It depends on your relationship to the person, who this person is in your life, etc.
People have certainly done it effectively.
I think that it's your overall intentions. Like you say, right? Like,
yeah.
But if it comes from a place of love and general concern and caring,
right,
and your goal is to eventually get them out of whatever dumb flat earth society they belong to,
right, or Rajneeshi cult or whatever.
Exactly. Like I think especially getting them out of a cult, that's an admirable goal,
right?
And
but the way to do it isn't through assaulting them with the facts. Unfortunately, as much as we want that to be how human brains work,
I know.
Yes, of course we want that to be how our brains work. Of course we want, when better facts come along, I of course will accept them and charge forward with my newfound worldview. But no, that's not how any of us work. I don't care who you are.
Well, yeah.
There's more to it than that. And we have to acknowledge that reality.
It would be interesting to do some deep sort of searching and really ask yourself why you landed on atheism.
Yeah.
Right? Was it strictly a rational thought thing, or were there other emotional needs that were being served and met and whatnot?
Yeah, I think we'd all find that we're not as purely rational actors as we'd like to believe we are.
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, everybody except me, obviously.
Oh no,
for me,
your pure reason.
It was just I acknowledged the reality of the world, and
that's
met it head on.
Dan,
valiantly,
Mr. Spock,
that's
Beecher.
Right, charging valiantly into logic and reason. Oh 50% of you hate us and disagree with us entirely, you can definitely write to us and tell us your perspective. We would genuinely love to hear it. Write to us, podcast at thankgodimatheist.com,
or call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click on that like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge or request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in. Also, if you're on Reddit or Twitter, look for us. Our handle is TGI Atheist.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. Speaking of social media, thanks so much to the beautiful overlord of our Facebook page, Mackenzie. And thanks, I am the beautiful overlord of the Members Only Lounge, but thanks so much to the sub-overlords, Amy and Danny, for their hard work as moderators.
And a big thanks goes out to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their music, and also to Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
And thank all of you for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Bye-bye.